Hello everybody, my name is Jacob Lemons and welcome to another episode of Lemon Talks. Now in this episode of Lemon Talks we are going to be covering a couple of Mountain Dew releases here in 2025 along with some things that are going to be removed from the shelves in 2025. So for our roadmap we are going to cover the releases and then we're going to cover what is leaving us in 2025 in terms of Mountain Dew. Now, all of the information that I acquired here today comes from Snack with Zach and the Mountain Dew Fan Club on Facebook. So if you ever have an opportunity to look up both of those pages, that is where I got this information from. And they both tend to be pretty credible sources because whatever they end up covering on their page usually is what ends up happening. Anyway, let's just get right into it with the new Mountain Dew releases for this year, and there are actually quite a few. I said a couple, but there are quite a few new flavors of Mountain Dew coming this year. First of all, we will be getting a Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus, which will have a tropical tangerine lime flavor, as it is always a staple of the Baja flavor line to have flavors that are a little bit more tropical in nature to all the other things that they release. These will have both regular and zero sugar versions for those who drink a diet soda. That's typically what the zero sugar versions are for people who are like diabetic or don't like to have a whole lot of sugar intake with whatever sodas they're drinking. And so it is considered the diet soda. And then Little Caesars will actually have an exclusive added alongside their current Pepsi pineapple flavor. This flavor is said to definitely be a mango rush. However, there are rumors that it could be a spicy mango rush. This simply means that the mango rush flavor would have a little bit more of a kick to it than just being absolutely sweet. This will not be getting a zero sugar version, though. They have definitely confirmed that. But it might still be worth picking up if you're getting a Little Caesars hot and ready. Next up, we have Mountain Dew Dragon Fruit, which will also be exclusive to Walmart, and there will not be a zero sugar version for this flavor at this time, or at least one has not been announced. Now, Mountain Dew will have a summer flavor like it normally does. This year it will be Mountain Dew Summer Freeze. And this one, along with a couple of the other Dews on this list, will be sporting the new Mountain Dew logo for this year. Mountain Dew on all of its flavors will be changing the logo from previous years. Just something to sort of revamp the brand that they do every decade or so. And this will be taking the place of like the Liberty Dew or Dew SA. Instead, you will be seeing a Summer Freeze this year. And next up on the list is a Dew that's supposedly releasing nationwide. It's called Mountain Dew Honeydew. So it'll have the flavor of like a honeydew melon. Except for I say supposedly nationwide because while it is set to release nationwide, they're going to leave it to retailers as to whether or not they want to pick up the flavor. And so whenever they do that, it tends to be more of a regional flavor. And so you'd have to get onto mountaindew.com, use the Dew locator, and find out where the flavor is being offered. You might have to make a short little drive in order to get to a store that actually sells this flavor because it might not be offered at your local grocery store. Moving on, Mountain Dew's Game Fuel, which releases annually, usually in partnership with some big gaming franchise like Call of Duty or Halo. It'll have a citrus cherry to it this year for whenever people see it hit the shelves. So probably like Code Red, but a little bit more citrusy to it. So like think Livewire mixed with Code Red, So now, sad news for everybody who has been participating in the Voodoo guessing game each year, which is basically Mountain Dew's mystery flavor. Voodoo releases every year before Halloween, probably about a month or so before, and it allows the fans to guess what traditional Halloween candy had been infused with the Dew that year. There have been several flavors like candy corn, Starburst, Skittles, just that have been infused with voodoo every year that they've done it, but apparently this is not being done this year in order to make way for a collab that they're going to openly do with Trolley. So it will still be infused with a candy flavor, and I've heard that that's supposed to be like a cherry lemon, but they haven't really confirmed whether or not they're going to have a zero sugar version of this, but considering that voodoo in recent years has had the regular voodoo and then a zero sugar voodoo to have along with it, I would suspect that this Mountain Dew Trolley collab is also going to have a zero sugar version that releases with it. So yeah, very likely that that's going to happen this year, but will this replace voodoo or not? It's tough to say. A lot of people are leaning toward this is definitely being done instead of voodoo for years to come, that they will just openly pick a candy and then do a collab with it. For me personally, I think that sort of takes the fun out of it. They always announce what the flavor was at the end of every month, and so even if you went to Mountain Dew's website and looked up all of the voodoos, they'll tell you what Halloween candy they had infused with it that year. Excuse me. Just so that people who were curious and maybe got the answer right, maybe got the answer wrong, finally get like a definitive answer as to what Halloween candy was used that year. So we'll just have to see what Mountain Dew does with it. I think that they're hoping that by openly saying, hey, this is the flavor, this is what you're drinking, that more people will buy it. Maybe Mountain Dew Voodoo hasn't been doing so well over the last couple years with people not being willing to take the risk on buying a mystery flavor, which I totally get. I totally understand. You kind of want to know what you're getting. And sometimes, like particularly the reason that I was able to remember the candy corn year so well is I remember from that year getting a Voodoo and taking a drink of it and it being one of the worst Mountain Dews I had ever tasted in my life. And so that sort of thing can be disappointing when you buy it expecting it to taste a certain way and then it not living up to the expectations. But then again, it's the mystery flavor. Live a little on that wild side, Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to what will be gone from the shelves in 2025. Ooh, voice crack there. Now, Mountain Dew is no longer making Major Melon or Spark, which both of them had zero sugar versions along with their initial release. Apparently, the sales for these two flavors were very low compared to all of the others that will stay on the shelves, and so they are the ones that have been cut in order to make room for the other Dews that will be releasing this year. And that's not all that's going to be taken off of the shelves this year, because Walmart, since it's getting another exclusive in the Walmart Dragon Fruit flavor, Mountain Dew has stopped production and sale of Mountain Dew Frostbite. And that's in the United States. I've seen online, like other Mountain Dew flavors, that this will still be available internationally. But just remember that now you'll have to pay shipping, plus it's a limited commodity price increase that you'll see on it. Since they know it's not available in your country, that it's something that you're seeking out, they're gonna jack a couple of bucks onto the price, not only just from the shipping. So you're going to have to pay a little bit more if you want to get it now. But something that I would encourage all of my viewers to do is that if you're going to go this route, then to find a website that does some sort of box deal. Some of these websites, they do mystery boxes. They do specifically beverage boxes or snack boxes of international or exotically flavored snack items or drink items. And this will save you so much more money in the long run, because if you go through and you try to individually order these flavors, then you'll be paying like $15 for a 6-pack or something like that. Like, some of these flavors are so sought after that it really does get outrageous with the prices. And I honestly do think that most of the price increase is to account for the shipping, for international shipping, because international shipping does get pretty crazy nowadays. But I do know that some of it is like they'll tack on a couple of extra bucks as to what it costs them in their home country. What I can tell you about Mountain Dew Frostbite, because I've actually had it a couple of times, is that it was like an extra citrusy blue raspberry soda. So it was like adding lemon lime soda to Mountain Dew Voltage. It just gave it that little extra zip of flavor at the end of it, instead of it just outright tasting like blue raspberry. So that's all the news that we have here today on Lemon Talks. What Mountain Dew interests you the most? What flavors are you excited for? Would you prefer that they all had zero sugar versions, or does it really not affect you? Let me know what you think, and otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.